All right. So like I said, there are three different type of reference that we have here, relative. The one that we are looking at now, this guy here, this is actually the relative reference. Relative, not absolute, relative. So they, because it's keep on changing, 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. So these are all relative reference. They are not fixed. So if I do this, I select here, I select all this, I just click the auto sum. Yeah, you see, when I click equals to formula text of whatever on top here. So the formula says D3 to D14. Then this is E, because from here we copy to the right. So it moved from D to E to F to G. So this is also considered as a relative reference. So any reference that move away from the original cell are called relative reference. Okay, so I remove this guy. If I'm interested to write a formula to know this 25,938 is how many percent of this. So I put equals to this cell, I divide by this. Right. This cell H3 has been formatted to percentage. If you look at my mouse up here, I already put as percentage. So I put enter, I get this one. Right? This one, is it percentage? It's already with percentage. Now, that's why I get percentage. However, when I copy down, it won't work. Right? Now, the reason is, let's take a look. You look at the formula. G3 become G4 lah. Very good lah. But G15 become G16. Oh. So now it went down. You see that? It will go down. It go down. It's getting further and further away. So as I go down, all this error message appear because you are taking the value 16,893. You are dividing with an empty cell. To Excel, any cell that is empty is 0. So that's why they give you the error message here. You are dividing it by 0. Okay. So how can you tell them, hey, don't move the G15? So this is what you do. Watch my screen for a while. You just do here. You double click your formula, go in, make sure that this G15 is there. You click anywhere in between the G15, or you can highlight the G15. I leave it to you as long as you are near the G15. Now, all you need to do is just insert the dollar symbol into the formula by pressing F4. When you press F4, they will insert a dollar before the G, a dollar before the 15. So if you press F4 and nothing happened to your G15, then you have two things to do. You have to hold on to your FN key. The FN is usually next to your controller. You press your FN key, then you press your F4. Sometimes only F4, sometimes you need to press FN F4. Now, that sometimes is because of different type of laptop. Some laptop need to press the FN then F4. Some laptop just press F4. Like my computer, just F4. So if your F4 doesn't work, that means you have to press FN, hold on to your FN, don't let go, then you press F4. Now, the purpose is to make that reference, stay using the dollar symbol. So with the insertion of that dollar in between them, now when I copy the formula down, I don't have any error. And if you look, the G15 actually didn't change. So if you want some cell to stay where they are, you don't want them to move, therefore, you press the F4 button, right? You press the F4 button to lock what you don't want to move. So that is what we call absolute reference. Fixed reference or locked or absolute reference. Up to you. Whatever you want to remember, right? Or you just want to remember the dollar symbol. If you apply a symbol dollar to the reference, then they will stay. So when you write your VLOOKUP later, assuming you're writing your VLOOKUP, okay, so I'm going to use this information, right? Use this information. So I'm looking for this. This is DPSD 200 ml. Then I also want to look for this one. I want to look for this one. I want to look for this one. So I put it down here. Now I want to know what is the sales for retail. What is the sales for retail? Can you tell me what are the sales for retail for PSD 200 ml? So PSD 200 ml, you have to look for this. No, retail. Retail is this one. Okay, so how do I write the VLOOKUP? So I say equals to VLOOKUP based on PSD 200 ml. Look inside this table. Okay, then you tell them, oh, I want to look for retail. Retail is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I put 4. Right, so I forgot to put a comma. 4. Then I need to look for the exact match. So I put there false. Wait, something is missing. Okay, wait. I should press this one, comma, highlight, then comma, 4, comma, false. So I tell them, please look for PSD 200 ml inside this table and take out my column number 4, which is the retail. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I press enter, I get this answer, 6196.47. Okay, so nicely done. So what happened when I pull it down? Hey, how come the third one got error? Now let's check what happened. The first one says this is the table. The second one, do you notice that reference moved down already? The table. When I bring down here, it moves down, but I'm looking for DSR 100 ml. So DSR 100 ml is no longer in this list. Therefore, you get error. See, sometimes you get lucky. Oh, correct. Oh, I got the answer. Then as you go down, why got error? Okay, so you need to know the formula that you are writing, this table array. Do you want this table array to move? When you copy the formula down, do you want them to move? The answer is no. So you have to fix them, make it absolute reference. Okay. So now it doesn't matter whether you are going up or down, you will still get all your answer. Okay, so if I take this guy, copy, and put it down here, then I just copy this formula down, I will still get it.
Sir, why we need to put a false there, not a true?
Because exact match, I want to find exactly.
Oh, so true means?
True means I will look for in between. I will explain that in a while because there's an introduction to VLOOKUP later, but I just want you to know the reference first. You notice the reference if I don't, this one, if I don't put the dollar symbol, what will happen now? I get all the error. So how come the last one cannot find? Because DSR 200 ml is out of this selection, is it? The table moves because it's a relative reference. You see that? It's a relative reference. Okay. So the first formula, you must already know that the table must stay. Because this is the only table that you're referring to, not going downwards. So now when I copy it down, you'll see that the formula C3 to F13 is fixed. They didn't change. But C20, C21, C22, this is C, all this, they are changing. So they are looking for column number 4, which is retail. You are looking for the retail price. Okay. Now, as Caroline, why you ask me the question, why is it false, right? False means exact match. I want them to look for PSD 200 ml, exactly PSD 200 ml. Okay, so by the way, let me ask you, can you tell me what is between SS1L and SS250 ml? What is in between here?
Not really sure.
Cannot, you can't
No.
you can't figure it out anyway.
Yeah.
So if I give you like KARAI, right, then I have something here called, let's say, uh ang. So can you tell me what is in between Kalai and ang?
No.
There is no
No.
such thing called
No.
in between Kalai and ang. So
Yeah.
when we want to do the matching, we must match the exact match. Understand? That's why we use false. Because when this is a text, there is no such thing called in between. Just an example of Kala and Ang. There is no such thing called in between them.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Huh? The false is because we are looking for something that an apple to an apple match. Okay. Now, I'm going to write this formula again. Let me just copy this. I'll put it down here. Put it down here. So I remove this formula. Now, I'm going to do it one more time. Okay. And I'm using this worksheet now. Different worksheet already. Different worksheet already. So I want to write the VLOOKUP. Now, you already know what I should do. So I say equals to VLOOKUP. So I say, can you please look for PSD 200 ml? Now, we are doing some revision here, comma. So what should I select? Ms. Ang, what should I select?
The whole table
The whole
start
table
from one, from yeah,
start from
code
here.
to the retail.
Code to the retail. Over here.
Mm.
Same thing, right? Same thing like what we did just now. Then we have to tell them that it's comma. We're looking for retail. That will be number 4. And we use false. Now, this is exactly the same thing I did just now, correct? Okay, let me just put a formula. I'm repeating myself. You see this? So, as you already know, if I copy this down, I'm going to get error. Now, why is that so? Because it becomes C4 F14, C5 F15. Are you all following? You understand, right? I'm just repeating what I did just now only. So what I'm planning to do now is, I don't want to write my formula like that. Okay, let me just remove all this. I'm going to rewrite my formula, but this time, before I write my formula, I highlight this, like what Carline has mentioned just now. Highlighted this. I don't want to remember this as C3 to F13. So I highlight all this table. This is where my table is. I'm going to this thing here called name box. Okay, I'm going to go to this name box. So I'm going to call this table, okay, my product table. So I name it as product table and I press enter. So this area C3 to F13 is now known as product table. Okay, so when I write my formula, it says equals to VLOOKUP. I still use this PSD 200 ml, comma, the table. Now, if I use my mouse to highlight this area, it's supposed to be C3 to F13, right? So when I highlight them, automatically the name has changed to product table. Because I gave a name to it earlier. So if you highlight the same range again, they will automatically convert that into a name already. Table, right? So I'm going to put comma 4, comma false. Okay, so this is how the formula look like. how the formula look like. So if I copy these two formula down like this, you'll notice that the product table didn't change. So in order for you to make that reference stay where they are, don't move, because VLOOKUP requires you to have a table, and the table is fixed. You already need to fix the table, so why not just give it a name? The name is also considered as your absolute referencing. Really? Is everything okay there? If I'm going too fast, let me know. Now, so far, I'm actually repeating what we did on the first day 2 weeks ago. But I didn't do all this in that session. I was just trying to tell you what are the reference, what is the type of reference that we are dealing with. So now I'm telling you, give the table a name. Whenever you're dealing with VLOOKUP, the table now has a name, so that you don't have to worry about pressing the F4 to lock it anymore. Thank you. Thank you, Pei. Any question? It works, huh? So the whole idea of this first module here is basically just to understand the data type and cell referencing. So the one that you'll be using for your VLOOKUP is basically this absolute reference. So instead of inserting the dollar symbol, an alternative to it is to give it a name. See? I'm using the same exercise, but I'm using a name. So that's how we can create perfect a solution to the number. We don't have to worry if I copy the formula elsewhere that it will change. No, it will not change. It's fixed to this area. So this set of number that I highlighted now is called product rate. Okay. Now, if you're okay with this, you want to save the file, please go ahead and save. I'm just going to save this one as right here. I put done. Save. Okay, so this one done. Now I'm moving to number 2 already. A quick introduction to VLOOKUP. There's a little bit of notes that is already provided up here. What does each of the function here, like lookup value, table array, all these are, the notes for that. So lookup value says the value that you use to find the match. So in this case, if you want to look for the discount, you will take the sales, the total sales, to look for the discount. So that is your lookup value. The 133,000 is the value used to find the match. So this 133,000. Where do you want to match them? You look for the table array, the table that contains the matching information. So in this case, this is the table. This is the table. Okay. And this table contains 3 columns, 1, 2, and 3. So column index number basically tells you the column that contains the information you need. I'm looking for discount. So the column that has the information I need is column number 2. Okay. Then the last parameter is the one that Kalai asked us now, why we use false. So it's asking you a question. Are you looking between the range? So there is a yes answer and there's a no answer. So the yes is you tell them, oh yes, I want to look for in between. But if you say no, then I'm looking for the exact match. But Excel don't read yes and no. They don't do this. Nope. They use true and false. Okay, so I just scribble my screen a little bit to explain to you. So in your VLOOKUP, they come with three mandate kind of a parameter. All these are called parameter, by the way. Lookup value, table array, and column index. These are all parameters. Then they have one optional parameters, which is range lookup. Now, how do I know that this range lookup is optional? It comes with a square bracket. So any function that comes with this kind of bracket, I mean, this particular parameter is optional. Optional. If you don't mention to it, they will use the original, or shall I say the default value. The default value is true. I'll tell you how you can identify what is your default value later. But just remember, any of this parameter that comes with a square bracket like this, those are called optional. Okay. Now, if you read some books or you actually Google for all this, right, you may find out that they don't call this one as parameter. Okay. They don't call it, but they give you other names. But that's perfectly fine. They just tell you that these are the information that you need to fill in. Okay, so I use the name called parameter because majority of the name use parameter. If you are a programmer, you will notice that the programmer, right, they always use the word parameter for the settings that they put in. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. Now I want you to highlight this table. Highlight this table. And let's give it a name. We already learned that a few minutes ago. Let's give it a name. Let's highlight this table. And let's go to the name box and call this one discount. Discount table. Okay, so the name it is discount table. Okay, discount DISCOUNT table. Now the name that you provide cannot have any spaces. If you put discount space table, you're going to get error. All names has to be a unique one word name. If you are the type that cannot stick the word together, you can use the symbol called underscore. You can use the symbol called underscore if you want to. You can do that. No, I don't want to. I want to call it discount table. So this table here now is called as discount table. So let's write the formula. I think you already know how to write. So the formula is going to be what? Equals to VLOOKUP based on C17 discount table. You need the discount. So discount is in column number 2. And this time, are you going to use true or are you going to use false?
False.
Sorry again?
False.
False. Okay, let's use false. If I use false, then I get an A. Mailing says true. Mailing says true. So you cannot use false because if you use false, false means, okay, let's take a look. What does false actually mean here?
Exact match.
Exact match.
Exact match.
So do you have 133,000 in this list? What do you think? Do you have 133 in this list? You don't have. So there's no match. No match, not available. That's because we use false. What we need is 133 is in between 100 to 150. So therefore, we have 8%. Shall I? Let's not confuse with true and false. Huh?
Yeah. I mistakenly listened to you. Okay, yes, correct.
Okay, now, how do we know which option here? Remember, this last option here, the range lookup is actually optional. You remember there's a square bracket. So how do we know which one is actually the default, or shall I say the optional value? I mean, if the default value, if I don't mention, see, if I don't mention, if I don't tell them I want to look for true or false, which one will be actually used if I don't mention? Right? If you look at it, what is the first in the list? The first in the list is called what?
True.
True. Uh, True is the default value. The first item in your list, that is your default value. Right? For any of your function parameter that says optional, they will give you a list. So when they give you the list, the first item in that list is always your default value. So if I decided not to put in anything, I just go to column index number and I ignore the last one because it's optional. I'll still get the answer. So I'll still get the answer. See, without actually telling them the last parameter, this one, lookup value, range lookup, I can still get my answer 8%. Right? Because the default is true. The default is true. I don't have to mention that to any part of my formula. Right? If you know you're using true, you can just ignore it. Are we okay with that? Now, listen. Right? If I go to this table now, this range lookup, and responding to Ms. Ang, your question just now, what's the meaning of the ascending order? So if I change this to a descending order, they got no answer. They don't know how to answer it. They must be an ascending order, right? Must be from small to big. You cannot be from big to small. It won't work. Right. So I click here, I arrange it back in order, then it works. Okay. So two rules mentioned here. Number one is an optional thingy, true or false. The other one is the arrangement of your table must be the first column, they match the first column, and the first column, the information that you match has to be in the ascending order from the small to big. Cannot be from big to small. Okay. That is when you are using something called in between. If you are using exact match, it doesn't matter. When you're using exact match, it does not have to be in ascending order. It can be in any order because they are doing apple to apple match, not in between anymore. Now, I'm trying to give you guys the base understanding of VLOOKUP first. So I'm going to give you like 30 seconds. Can you fill up this formula for me? Or you have done it already? Done? Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Okay. Instead of write the formula again, and I know I need to repeat this many times, if assuming I have many times, I can go to this formula. Okay, now everybody pay attention to my screen. Okay. I'll go to this formula. So what I do is I double click it, I highlight the whole formula, highlight the whole formula. I control C to make a copy. Okay. Then I press enter to get out first. I made a copy of that formula already. So now I need to check. If I'm looking for discount level, that will be column number 3, correct? So I just double click here. I paste whatever I copied just now, and I just change this one to 3. Because I will definitely still refer to this one. I press enter. Now I can copy it down. Same formula lah. So I'm going to highlight this table now. Let's go down to row 37. Highlight this table now. Now, if I want to name the table, I cannot use back the same name called discount table. I can't use the same name. All the names can only appear once. All names are unique one. They cannot be repeated. So if I want to give another name to this, I can call this one as discount table. And I put a H at the back. As in, this table is a horizontal table. So I press enter. Okay, based on this data, I'm going to look for the discount like what we did earlier. Okay. Everybody look, I'm going to look for the discount based on this table. But because this table wasn't arranged like from top to bottom, it's arranged from left to right. The direction is called horizontal table. That's why I put a H there just now, remember? I highlight this, I put a H at the back because this table was designed horizontally. Therefore, in this case, I cannot use VLOOKUP, I have to use HLOOKUP. Based on this C39, I will go for the discount table, the one with the H. Comma. If you read carefully, it's no longer looking for column index number, but it's looking for row index number. So the information you are looking for is called discount. Discount is in row number 1. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So we use 2. Because we are looking for discount. Row 1,
2.
row 2, row 3. Yes. Then, is it going to be true or false?
2.
True also. So do we need to do anything? No need lah. Just leave it empty lah. No need to mention lah. If you know it's true, then you don't have to mention. So there you go. You can get an answer. So all you need to do is just copy the whole formula. Come here, paste it. Now you're not going to use 2 this time because you're looking for the discount level. This is 1, 2, and 3. So you put 3. Same lah, same thing. The only difference between the what this exercise and the one on top is the table that you are using. You can do a VLOOKUP or you can do a HLOOKUP. So either way, your formula works. VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Any question? I believe we have done this in our 3-hour session 2 weeks ago. Huh? So it's just a repeat. Hopefully you still remember. Don't let me go through so fast if you cannot understand. Let's make your money work. Please ask a lot of questions. So far, nothing too complicated. They are just the introduction of the function only. Okay, so let's save the file. Introduction only. So let's go to the basic VLOOKUP. So I'm actually doing the course built on top of each other with the understanding of that introduction just now. Now we are moving into another exercise which is very, very similar. So I don't want to make the difficulty level suddenly very higher. I'm just going slowly. Go ladder by ladder, one step at a time to understand this. Okay? Hopefully you feel comfortable doing all this. So we will take about maybe 1 or 2 minutes to do this. It's not that complicated. Now I need to find the description based on the product ID in C9. If you look at C9, it's SUPA 101. You need to look for the description. Okay, so can you highlight this table first? Highlight G8 to J20. Highlight this table and let's give it a name. Let's call it product table. So equals to VLOOKUP based on C9, comma, product table, comma. So which column will I be looking for? Number. I'm looking for description. That will be number 4. Okay, comma. So now, what do you think? Is it going to be true or is it going to be false?
True.
True. Kalan, think again. Is it going to be true or false?
True. True.
False. Should be false.
Oh, is it you are searching for exact? Exact?
Yeah. Remember I
Oh, so
mentioned
false.
Kalai and Ang? What is in between Kalai and Ang?
Oh, yes, it's a range. Yes. It's a false.
So you notice this is SUPA 101 and PURA 100. Is there anything in between?
No.
No. So you cannot say it's true. It has to be
Oh, yes. False.
false. Right? It has to be false. Okay? So then you copy that. You get the exact match. Okay, so for this unit price, then it's number 3. So you just do what I mentioned just now. Highlight the whole thing, copy, enter, come here, you paste, but you change the 4 to 3, and you get the price. Okay. I guess until now, you do not have any issue about that, right? Okay. Now, there are a lot of this advanced user out there who uses VLOOKUP. So what happened is you notice that their function will be slightly different one. Okay. Take for example, if I go back to the previous file, this one, okay, they don't, we decided not to use anything, right? You see, I didn't put anything. Okay. But for this one, I got no choice. I don't have any choice, but I have to use the function called false. I have to use the false. Let me just make it bigger first. Right. I have to use the false. Okay, so but when you see those advanced user out there doing this, they don't use the false. They will change the false to 0. So 0 is also considered as false. 0 is also considered as false. So let me just open an introduction. So true, this true here, it can be 1, it can be false, can be 0. Okay, so if I decided that in here, I don't want to leave it empty, I can put comma 1. I will still get the answer. So the 1 at the back here simply means true. Whereas the one that we are working on, the basic here, we use 0. 0 means false. Now, I'm sure you're going to see a lot of this expert out there who uses this VLOOKUP. They'll always use 0 at the back. But now you know you can use 0, you can use false. If you're using the exact match, you can use 1 or true if you're using approximate or in-between match. So, Kala, are we okay with this?
Yes, sir.
So remember
Yes.
the true and false. So the true can be 1, the false can be also the
0.
false or 0. All good, huh? Now, listen. Not every day when you perform your VLOOKUP, the table that you are using is just next door like that. Agree, huh? You cannot, you seldom see that you are doing your VLOOKUP. The table that you're looking is actually next door like that. This is during my class only is like that. Okay, I put them side by side so that easy for you to refer. All right. Now let's go to the reality. If I want to look for my customer name based on their customer ID, where's my data? It's not here, it's not here. Where's my data? The data is in another worksheet. Right? They are in another worksheet. So I can put a number up here just to let me know this is number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So I just copy this over. So I have, this is column number 2, this is column number 3, this is column number 4, number 5, number 6. Now, the number is not mandatory. It's only probably very useful if your data is like, your table that you're using has about 30 or 40 columns. Now, my table is still considered small. 6 is still considered small. But if you have 30 columns, each time when you use your VLOOKUP, you need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's better to put a number on top of it at least you know, oh, I need to find the contact number, or that's number 4. You have a number on top to tell you. You don't have to count. So imagine you have 60 columns. You don't have to count, oh, it's actually on 50, column number 35. You don't have to count. You just put a number above it to show them that this is in column number 1. Okay, so write down on a piece of paper, what are you looking for? So here, I'm looking for name, customer name, gender, and then origin. So customer name. So this is number 3. Okay. Gender, this is number 6. Origin is number 2. So 3, 6, then 2. 3, 6, then 2. Okay. So when I do my performance by VLOOKUP, I will give this a name. Now, don't include the number. Don't include the number, just the table itself. Let's call this one as customer table. Customer table. Press enter. Remember, the first column has to be the customer ID. The first column has to be a customer ID because you're using customer ID to find the customer name. So customer name, let's repeat. Customer name, gender, then origin. So that will be number 1, 2, 3, 6, and then 2. 3, 6, then 2. So you can put up here 3, 6, 2. Now that is just for you to know only. You just type it out here. So the first one equals to VLOOKUP. You tell them based on the B31, comma. So where is your table? The table is called the customer table, comma. So if you look at the number I wrote up here, the first one is 3. So I put 3, comma, exact match. So I use false. Or I can use 0. I get the nuggets. So remember, copy the formula, enter, come here, paste it, and then you change the 3 to 6. Double click this guy, paste it, change it to 2. There you go. Now I have all my 3 items done. I just have to copy it out. That's it. Please let me know if I'm going too fast. So I don't even have my table next door, but I already prepared them with a name and I put a number. So once I look at it, oh, I need 3, 6, and 2. So I go back to the report that I'm going to write. I tell them 3, 6, 2. So I know that this is 3, 6, and 2. So the formula, I'm using 3, right? This one I'm using 2, sorry, 6, and the last one here I'm using 2. So I follow this order. Let me know if you need any part that you want me to repeat. So, do you have any questions? Alai, Mei-Ling,
No, sir, can follow. Can get ready.
Mei-Ling,
Yeah.
Miss Ang? Okay, so the time now is 10:35. Let's take a break. We have 15 minutes. So go and get yourself some coffee. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk about breaking the rules. Okay, we're going to go details on breaking the rules. Where is the break the rules? And then we will start to do some other advanced VLOOKUP. Okay. The reason why I can do so fast, this 1.5 hours to complete 1, 2, and 3 is because we have done that 2 weeks ago. Okay, so we will do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the remaining topic starting after break. So I'll see you at about 10:50, 15 minutes break.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you. See you.